Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am Sunique and I've popped on today to share that I bought a couple of decks for a specific purpose, and that is to do deck studies with. And there's a little bit of a history with these decks. So the decks I'm going to talk about are the Herbcrafter's Tarot and the Hoodoo Tarot. Sorry about the lights, but yeah, the Hoodoo Tarot. They're quite older decks. This one is a repurchase. I actually did have this deck beforehand, but didn't find the time to use it, and so I let it go. But I've actually rebought it, and I don't normally do that, so yeah. And then, so that's the story behind that one. And then, the Herbcrafters. Now, I've never had this deck. It's never drawn me. I've never been inclined to get it, but everybody raves about it so much, and so I thought, well, yeah, no, I will give it a try. And one of the reasons I didn't really want this deck was because I've had the Gaian deck for, well, gosh, well, you can see it's battered. I've had it quite a while, one of those old US games, well, Llewellyn decks, and it's just, I don't know, aesthetically not very pleasing. But in preparation for looking at the Herbcrafters, I thought I'd take another look at this one. Well, that box is dreadful. I don't know if I can glue it back together again, I'm not sure. But to be really honest, I've never liked the images in this deck. They're not really, they've never really, I don't know why, they've never really called to me. And the cardstock is like dreadful. It's almost paper. It's so bad. Now, I'm not sure if there's another version of this, a later version of this, that's better cardstock. I don't know, it just, I think, I don't know why, I mean, there's Chaliswell, and I love Chaliswell. I've been there, I've sat there, you know, I really like Chaliswell. Maybe I should give this another go, because the guidebook's good. Guidebook is really good. You can probably hear the wind outside. It's a dreadful day. These sort of images, I don't know, these don't appeal to me. I can't, or I haven't connected to this deck at all. How old's this deck? On the box? 2011. On the box, yeah, 2011. But looking at the guidebook, as I say, the guidebook is really good. I don't know, it's just, it's pretty enough, but it just, I don't know, it's never really, I'm labouring a point here, aren't I? But it's never really called to me. That's the image of the guidebook. So yeah, I might have a look and see if there's an updated version of this, because another reason is the cardstock. And when cardstock's like this, I'm reticent to actually use it anyway. The True Heart Tarot is like that. I love that deck actually, True Heart Tarot. But the cardstock, oh, please do an updated. I don't like that either. I know it's supposed to be the lady themselves, but I don't know. It's just this art style is. It's almost photorealistic, and it's, I find it a bit creepy. That's probably not a popular opinion, but I find this quite creepy art style. I don't know, I just don't. Anyway. The guidebook for the Major Arcana has actually got really good journaling prompts, and for the Minor Arcana it has got affirmations, and I mean they are really good. They are really good. Just a short write-up on each card. It's not a massive write-up, but just enough. And like I said, those journaling questions are something I could really get my teeth into. So maybe I just should give this another try. Anyway, given that there are so many great experiences from other tarot members, tarot people on the Herbcrafters Tarot, then of course it's really been on my radar for quite some time. And I've seen some of the images online, and again, not my aesthetic. I'm being honest, this is not my aesthetic. When was this one out? It says 2023. US Games, 2-part box with a thumb cut out. And I've never been... I'm the type of person that's made a lot of cakes, pastries, biscuits, that sort of thing. But herbs have never been really on my agenda. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love I'm more into aromatherapy and that side of things. In fact, I studied aromatherapy quite intensively years ago. There we go. You've probably all seen this anyway. Green in a box. This is the guidebook. It's not very big, is it? It's got to be thicker than that. Yeah, aromatherapy really was my thing, not herbs. Gosh, my garden's absolutely full of dandelions at the moment. Maybe I can find a use for them. Anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty intrigued in this on this deck. And the other thing with these two decks that I've bought is on the Facebook group for Abundant Life Tarot. There are deck studies for both of these decks. Now, I've done a couple of deck studies on that Facebook group. I've done the Lightseers Tarot and the Fairies Oracle, Bifroud's Fairies Oracle, and they're really good deck studies. It's the members that have put the deck studies together, and they've done a fantastic job. They really have. And so I thought I will do some of these two deck studies at some point. And so I waited until these decks were on offer before buying them. You've probably all seen this deck. And yeah, let's see what they're all about. So the Fool is a dandelion. I don't understand correlations between the tarot and the plants, and that's going to hopefully inform my practice a little bit. So just have a look at the book and see what we get. So a basket of dandelion. Okay, so it tells us what we're looking at. Stones marking the cardinal directions, but these leaves are pointing to possible paths. Yeah, and some spilling from this pouch. So anyway, the world is full of adventure, open to what you have never known before. Like the dandelion seeds that float freely in all directions, trust the changing winds. Oh, I get it. As you embark on a new journey, yeah. I was just looking at them in that state, but when they become wishes and you blow them, they go everywhere, don't they? And no one knows, no one knows where they're going to land. Okay. So it's an inviting first medicine for a new herbalist. Keep your mind open, be willing to experience life as a beginner, be a pioneer. Okay, so that's told me, hasn't it? Let's put some more light on this. Okay, so maybe that's an invitation. Crafting with the Fool. Harvest a dandelion seed and wear it as an amulet when you set off on a new journey. Make dandelion vinegar and sip it when you need to be bold and audacious. Practice finding wisdom in unlikely places. Create a mandala with weeds. Okay, so I'm just skipping to the back. As you use this deck, a card a day, some questions. Build the story. Connect with the herbs. So seek the plant in nature, host the herb in your garden, tend a stand of the plant in the wild, observe your plant through a full growing cycle, seed to seed, pay attention to how the plant presents itself. I can easily do that with a dandelion. Learn the science. Before turning to any spiritual definitions, learn about the ecology of the plant, how the herb behaves in nature. Gives us insights into the medicine it holds, both physically and spiritually. And then we can create, play with the plants, make all the herbal remedies, Make botanical art and jewellery. Make the plants central to your creative process. How can you incorporate them into your daily life more? Honour the stories. When researching correspondences and lore, do so with a curious mind. Wisdom is not static, it evolves with each generation. The stories are necessary to understand our ancestors, but they do not define the magic. Honour what has come before and trust what is being created now. I would say actually that I've said it before in another video actually, but my grandmother, maternal grandmother, I would class as a hedge witch, because yeah, she knew every plant. She was well up on it, but I never took any notice. Talks about reversals and some spreads. 3 card, 5 card, 4 directions, a year ahead. Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. How to use them. Okay. So this is how to actually use the herbs. So as cordial, it gives you the instructions. So that's what I wanted. I would be inclined to do the essence, I think, because I've done that with crystals, crystal essences. This is interesting. Okay, maybe I will be into this deck. So we can make honey, incense, kombucha, oil, I don't know what an oxymel is, and a palm tent. Okay, inhaling it already. Okay, a pesto, a salve, scrubs, steams and syrup, tea, tinctures and vinegar. Right, okay. Maybe I'll give this a go then. Maybe I will actually see how I get on with this. Love sunflowers. The art isn't for me, absolutely not, but what it's doing is actually identifying the herbs. So that's useful, isn't it, if you're not like me, au fait with what a lot of them look like. Some I do. Oh, cannabis. How do we source that then? Death is a marigold. This is interesting. Oh, blackberry pie. Just had a thought, because it's my tower year this year, maybe I should do some work with the tower card and some mushrooms. I'm not a fan of mushrooms actually. Might be a way of working with them, I don't know. I have difficulty identifying this plant. Yarrow, meadow sweet, and what's the other one? And one of them's poisonous, and I don't know which one it is. Maybe I could get one of those apps that would tell me. So as you can probably tell, for me this is uncharted territory. I'm not familiar with any of this, so it will be one heck of a learning curve, I would think. But yeah, I think what I will do is follow along on that deck study, because it's still there on the Facebook site of Abundant Life Tarot, and I use pomegranate all the time. Yeah, and include it in my practice. So that's the plan with this Herbcrafter's Tarot and Bridget's Cross. I tried making one of those very unsuccessfully. Yeah, so that's the plan with the Herbcrafter's Tarot. A hands-on practice, hey? Maybe I just didn't give this its due. Anyway, so that's Joanna Poe Colbert's artwork, as it is in the Gaian Tarot as well. I wonder how those two decks would work together, actually. They probably would work well together, wouldn't they? Thinking about it. Anyway, the Hoodoo Tarot, for the same reason. And as I said, I already had this deck and gifted it. I actually passed it along. And the reason I passed it along was because it's not my culture. And I felt like intrusive, I think. You know, that it wasn't my place to actually know anything about hoodoo, because I have no, as far as I'm aware, any ancestors from this region. But again, that deck study intrigues me, so I thought I'd give this one a go as well. And it's sort of the same sort of art style, really, but it's more sepia in tone. So I thought I'd give this one a little go. There's some books as well that this author has also written. So yeah, across the pond, so American South, I think. Oh, it's a pull-out box. Two parts, yeah. See, oh, that's interesting. We're getting plants. Oh man, look at that. We're getting plants. Basil, comfrey. Oh, maybe these were meant to be then. These are plants. Do you know, I didn't even realise there's a plant association with these. Ha! Okay. Okay. That is interesting. There's not an awful lot of text for each card. Yeah, more so on the majors. Looks to be like pretty famous people. I hope you can see this. And some prompts to consider in a reading. Got some spreads. I'm not going over this in any depth, either of these, because they've been around so long. There'll be loads of walkthroughs. When was this one? 2020. Yeah, it's been out a while. And I have been buying older decks, actually, to put in my collection, because I feel they belong in my collection now. And there's been so many new decks, beautiful new decks. Some of the classics are worth visiting. That looks damaged. So yeah, these have got a very antique feel to them. They've been aged, and I found some of them a little bit difficult to see. A bit of a gloss on them anyway. But yeah, this is a taste of what the art looks like. So it's quite subdued, as if it's been taken from old photographs. Try and take the glare off. That's a good strength card, isn't it? So maybe I could actually use them together with the Gaian tarot. I don't know. I'm going to do this, but oh, that's a bit. Yeah, it's been a long time since I looked at this tarot deck, and it's quite gothic. It's got that feeling that makes me feel a little bit out of my comfort zone. That's someone throwing the bones there. Dem bones. See, it's not my culture, and I did sort of feel like I shouldn't be using this deck because I had no right to. But then the other side of the coin, I think I should inform myself on other peoples of this world, past and present, because otherwise I'm just ignorant, aren't I? I'm in my own little bubble, and I should deepen my knowledge of other cultures. So that's the reasoning anyway. But with respect for those cultures. See, it's very, I don't know what the word is, but primal, I suppose. This dog peeing up a gravestone. Oh dear. You wound me. Dog don't care. Yeah, very strong energy in this deck, and it did put me off. It really did. It made me feel totally out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to try again and see if I can work with it by doing that deck study. I mean, I did ask on the Facebook group if it was a good idea to do this deck study. I asked back when they started it. And I was assured, yes, even though it's not your culture, it would be a good deck to actually delve into. So I'm taking that advice on board now. And you see what the deck says? Mind you, I've not cleared it or anything, but let's just draw. I'm just going to draw a card and get some sort of feeling from the deck about working with it. Oh, there we go. One jump straight out at me. The Daughter of Baskets. So let's have a little look what the Daughter of Baskets has to say. Okay, the plant is one I've never heard of. It's called Baneberry. And this is Tituba. Tituba was an enslaved teenager who was accused of being a witch in Salem, Massachusetts, and is depicted here as the Daughter of Baskets. She was an Arawak heritage, which automatically made her a suspicious character among the Puritans. The Daughter of Baskets carries a basket full of baneberries and a pot of tea. Salem Harbour is in the background. Okay. So the meaning, the Daughter of Baskets is generally the bearer of good news. On the positive side, she is charming, imaginative, creative, loyal, and has great communication skills. On the negative side, she is delusional, jealous, a pathological liar, a con artist, or suppresses her feelings. In a reading, if she doesn't represent a literal person with these qualities, then she represents these attributes. So is this the attributes of the deck for me and my relationship with it? It says great communication skills, and maybe it does want to actually talk to me. Imaginative and creative. Okay, I'll take that as a message then. Anyway, that was a short, well, I don't know if it was short, but that was a quick look at 3 decks, a very quick look actually at each deck, but I'm sure you've all seen them. So that's my plan anyway for these decks, and I'm going to take my time with it. It's not going to be a rushed study of any of them, especially that Herbcrafters, because if I'm going to do some of the recipes, or the, what did they call it, the craft, yeah, crafting, if I'm going to do the crafting, it's going to take a while anyway, and I reckon that's at least a year. If I did it, that's an idea actually, if I did do it, I mean, we've got sort of a Wheel of the Year image here, haven't we, sort of. So if I was to start now, which is the spring, and take my way all the way through to next spring, yeah, there's a year's journey with this tarot. I think I might do that. Okay, anyway, thoughts and ruminations. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next offering, bye friends, bye.